Hey everyone, Michael here with more question and answers. Yesterday I filmed for about 45 minutes and it ended up being like a 5-minute video and half of it was Shirley Temple movies, so I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker this time. I really don't own the Nancy Drew games. I get them from the library. Let me show you. See, I've got Nancy Drew games over here, and if you take a look, all of them, they come from the library, huh? So every couple of days I take all my books and things and I put them in my backpack and then I bike over to the library to drop them off. And the library is about 15 minutes from my house, so it's a good workout. You know, biking, it's good exercise. And you know, that way I don't have to pay any money for gas because gas prices are crazy. And I always take my fancy bottled water whenever I go biking. I refill it every time I need to go bike riding, rather than, you know, wasting a bunch of plastic by using 20 bottles a week. So yeah, everybody, visit the library. The library is awesome. I actually have 2 different library cards. That's how crazy I am. Yeah! The sports I like to do most are the sports that I'm not very good at. I like volleyball. I like to do bowling, but I'm really not good at either one of those. I think the sport I'm best at would be, like I just said, bicycling, because I go biking every other day or so. My favorite constellation? Gee, I'm gonna have to think of a constellation now. I don't know, I'll go with Orion or, Ursa Minor. How's that? Ursa Minor! Awesome!
See the constellation right across the sky. No cigar, no lady on his arm. Just a guy made of dots and lines. Just a guy made of dots and lines.
I don't know, Batman, I guess. That's kind of an odd question. Are you thinking Looney Tunes? I mean, if that's the case, then I don't know, Bugs Bunny or somebody like that. Favorite Nancy Drew game? I think my favorite was just the Haunted Carousel, just because that was my first game. Yeah, that was the first one I played, so I really liked it. I did not like Secret of the Old Clock. I lost while playing that game over and over and over and over again. It was not fun at all. Treasure in the Royal Tower. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think most of the games were pretty cool. Let me, I'm gonna have to need, like, a list or something, huh? Secrets Can Kill is kind of different from all the other games because it's the first one, and they had a lot of, you know, clues written in hidden code, and all the characters were cartoony, and you had the annoying having to switch CDs every 10 seconds. So, you know, I didn't really like it, but aside from that, it was really good. The Maxine's Diner place was really well done. So, you know, overall, I'd say it's okay. It's kind of a different experience than the other Nancy Drew games, and that's sort of why I don't like it so much. I kind of like what they did later on in the series. Stay tuned for Danger. I kind of liked that game. There were about 6 characters in it. I thought that was very fun. And, you know, I really liked 2 of the characters. I liked Rick Arlen, even though he's kind of mean. And I liked Dwayne Powers. I just like Dwayne because it is all. I must confess, that man has no talent!
You're Rick Arlen's agent?
Yes, I was. But I must confess that the man has no talent. Were not for his...
The only downside to the game was really annoying thing at the end where you had to do something just right in order to get the game to progress. It was really kind of hard to get the ending to occur. If you watch my video walkthrough, it took me about a half hour to realize what I forgot to do was look at the second paper inside Dwayne Powers' briefcase. That's really annoying. Message in a Haunted Mansion. That was a fun game. I liked how it was set up. You had like spooky sound effects going around in the background. It led to a really nice aura. It was pretty cool. The thing I don't like about it was the final puzzle at the end where you had to do all the Chinese symbol matching, which was really kind of a pain because you had to go back and check all the Chinese symbols. And I'm told that they aren't really the right Chinese symbols either. Some of the people who read Chinese have commented on my video that they mixed up the symbol for fire or something like that. So that's kind of lame. The Bess and George in that game, they were pretty awesome. I liked Bess and George in that game, though. George was really hyperactive and being cool and all that sort of thing, and that's the sort of way I am, so that's why I like George. Yay! Treasure in the Royal Tower. That was a fun game. I like Professor Hotchkiss. She was in that. I like that game. I kind of liked the final scene. There were problems with it. There were like 3 or so phone conversations that take a really long time to do, and that's really kind of annoying. But I kind of liked how it had a different setup from all the other games in the series. I liked how they had the kidnapping theme, so the game was divided into 3 days. So that was really nice because each day was about, an hour or so long, so you could just play day 1, then you could stop, and then you'd come back and you'd play day 2 for an hour. Then you'd stop, and then you'd come back, and then you'd play day 3, and then it was over. It was really kind of nice. The game split up into different sections very nicely. Secret of the Scarlet Hand. I really didn't like Secret of the Scarlet Hand that much. Again, there were phone conversations that took forever, and the characters, you really didn't see too much of the characters. Like Joanna Briggs, who's the curator for the museum. You don't really see her that often in the game. There's a storyline about her being, kicked off as head curator, but you don't actually get to see her. You talk to her on the phone. I mean, basically, it feels kind of empty because half the game is Nancy wandering around the Beach Hill Museum when nobody's there. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake sort of feels the same way as Secret of the Scarlet Hand. It seems kind of empty. It's mostly Nancy wandering around the woods when nobody else is there. But I do like the dogs. Dogs are pretty cool, and I did like the animation they had for the dogs at the end of the game. That was really awesome. The Haunted Carousel, that was the first Nancy Drew game I played, and I liked it. Harlan Bishop is awesome. Miles, the Magnificent Memory Machine! He's awesome too. Elliot Chen, he's pretty awesome as well. Nancy got a cell phone in that game, which is nice because you don't have to dial 10 digits every time you need to call somebody. And unlike the other games, most of the phone conversations were optional. You could have called the police station, yes, you could have called Paula Santos, you could have called Bess and George and the Hardy Boys, but you didn't really have to. That was sort of optional, and I thought that was really cool. It sort of made the game different. Some players who like phone calls, they can go ahead, they can do their phone call things. Other players like me who like to do puzzles and that sort of thing, they can focus on that. It kind of gave a little bit more diversity to the game, that you could do things out of order, you could do what you wanted, you didn't have to do it in a specific order, unlike some of the other games, so I thought that was nice. Danger on Deception Island. I didn't particularly care for it, but it was really, really popular. It was one of the first games I made a video walkthrough for because everybody requested it. It's a good game. I didn't like it very much. Maybe it's because I just finished playing the Haunted Carousel. Half the story in the Haunted Carousel is figuring out what happened in Joy Trent's past, which is really interesting, but I think the storyline in Danger on Deception Island, I think it kind of fell flat. There's a story about the killer whale, and you really don't see it until the very end of the game, and the characters, they don't really do too much. Holt Scotto, he basically sits on a stool, and Jenna, she doesn't do much of anything. She just hangs around inside the bar. Katie Firestone is a cool character, but she really doesn't do anything. She just, looks at the engine all day long trying to fix it. That's all. So overall, I'd say that I was just sort of disappointed by the character interactions in that game. And, apparently I'm running low on batteries.